you and my mother are very inquisitive about this subject. All I'm thinking is, how do people do this every single day? Talk show, maybe. I don't know. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. It feels like it's been forever since I've actually sat down and done this, because it's been forever since I've actually sat down and done this, and I have missed it. You know what it is? I've actually been creating content. The issue has been getting the time to actually edit. This has been my greatest challenge. I have had so much happen over the last 2 months. It's been absolutely insane. My phone was stolen. I injured my back in the gym. I went to Barcelona with my sister. I went to Tanzania with my sisters and the girls. We did a sponsored walk where we walked for like 20 miles, 36,000 steps in one day. My feet were aching, my legs were on fire, my knees were hurting me. And then we went to Tanzania like 4 days later to do a girls trip. The Zanzibadis took Tanzania and it was beautiful. Honestly, one of the best trips I've ever had in my life. It did not, like, traveling alone did not compare to what that girls trip was. It was elite, it was fantastic, it was literally dreams come true, and I cannot wait for you guys to see the footage from that coming soon. Finishing off book writing, it's a lot. Planning our second live show, which is happening on the 12th of November. Tickets actually come out this Friday if you're signed up to the To My Sisters mailing list, or for general release that will be happening on Saturday, aka the 1st of October. I cannot believe it's October already. But if you would like to actually come to the live show, then sign up to the mailing list and get a ticket. You'll be able to meet me, Renee, the girls in the sisterhood, the girls who came to Tanzania. It's just going to be lit, and we have some special guests, some of my YouTube faves. I'm just going to leave it there. That's an exclusive. But I'm so pumped for the live show. But we've been planning that and just generally trying to stay on top of To My Sisters, the community, the content, and all the opportunities that I've been getting to work on behind the scenes. I actually completed a really cool project even today, but you'll see more of that in upcoming vlogs, because the vlogs are coming back. All right, but that's like a little bit of a life update. Life has been here, there, and everywhere, but I thought I would actually do a Q&A. I wanted to answer the questions which you actually had and just kind of do a life update, get on the same page. If you're new around here, because the channel has been increasing, thank you so much for subscribing. Then you can get to know about me, the stage that I'm at. And yeah, if you don't know who I am, my name is Courtney Daniella. I am 25 years old, living in London. I'm currently on a gap year. I'm traveling the world. I'm prioritizing my health. I am growing and glowing, if you will. And if you want to be a part of that journey and a part of this channel where I transparently and honestly document the stages of that journey, then you should hit the subscribe button and also turn on your notifications so that you never miss a video from me. But without further ado, let me answer these questions which I received on Instagram. What has been your biggest life lesson this year? I would say my biggest life lesson this year has been that life is actually short. And unfortunately, even today and just throughout this year, I've been exposed to and hearing news of people who, you know, I've known or known of passing away suddenly. And it has been very sobering. Like, it's been very sobering, and it's reminded me that life is fleeting. Like, as Ecclesiastes says, like, life is but a vapor. Like, it's here today, it's gone tomorrow, and you don't know when your time to go is. And I really am being reminded that I want to live purposefully, and I want to live a life which I'm actually proud of, and that is worth something, and that has impact. And it just keeps reminding me that, listen girl, don't take these days for granted, because you actually don't know how many you have. And as much as that seems like a really depressing way to open the video, I also think it's very beautiful, in the sense that it lets me know that I'm in a really privileged position to make every day count and make every day look like a day which I would enjoy, be proud of, every day to see new grace, new mercy, to meet new people, to love new people, to do new things and fun things and things which I feel like will give back to my community and do me good. And so yeah, my biggest lesson this year has been having that sobriety to know, girl, number your days. How to navigate a new chapter in your life. So I feel like I entered a new chapter in my life this year in particular, because I had decided to like hit pause on my business and take a gap year and travel and do all this stuff, and it definitely felt like a new chapter. But I also felt like I started a new chapter when I turned 25, and like I set my goals and created a vision for what I wanted the next 25 years of my life to be like. I think when you are navigating a new chapter, the biggest thing you have to do is change and shift your mindset as you make that transition. Transition can often feel very turbulent and unstable, and it's easy to lose hope because you're entering into a new season in which, or a new chapter in which you feel like you know the end. You feel like, or even if the end isn't clear, you feel like, okay, by the end of this 25th year, I'm going to be like this by the time I turn 26, or by the end of 2022, I'm going to have XYZ. But you're stepping into the beginning of that season, which looks nothing like that. Like, the beginning of a thing often doesn't look like the end of a thing. And so it's important to not get discouraged about the fact that the beginning, the start point, is far from the end and doesn't look like the end. Your job now is to make up the distance. I'd say the second thing is, when handling transition, find a good set of people around you to help you navigate the unknown that lies ahead of you. So there will probably be people who have actually done things which you're aiming to do, who have already completed it or are already further than you are. Find ways to connect with them, find ways to have good, honest conversations with them so that they can give you their advice and their wisdom. That way you know that the challenges that lie ahead of you will not kill you. There are people who have actually survived and thrived through the challenges that they have encountered and that you will encounter as well. I think also handling a new season or a new chapter in your life, embrace the unknown, and work on yourself enough to be adaptable to face any challenge rather than prepping yourself for specific challenges. I think we prepare ourselves to a point and then life throws 1,000 more curveballs at us. And our job is to just be prepared to be agile and prepared to, you know, have a set mindset, have a heart, have a character that is able to adapt to and be integral in every situation, but also like having principles and values like excellence and dedication and consistency, discipline, kind-heartedness, like all of these different things which you can take to any chapter in your life, any arena that you find yourself in, and adapt to that space, but not let the change in chapter change you, the main character. Does that make sense? My biggest piece of advice for my 22-year-old self. These 3 questions have actually come from the same person, so shout out to you, Lina, or Lina, or Laina, Liena. It could be a mix. I could be wrong. But anyway, the biggest piece of advice I would have for my 22-year-old self, I was 22 3 years ago, crazy scenes. What happened when I was 22, what was happening? So I was 22 in 2019 to early pandemic 2020. My birthday's in May. So the first like 4 months of the 3 months of the pandemic, I was 22. What I would say to my 22-year-old self, trust that you have enough skill and enough knowledge at this moment to handle your present time. And also have confidence in yourself and that knowledge. I think when you're 22, you kind of still feel like a teenager, but you're very much so a young adult, and you are faced with young adult problems, young adult bills, and real life stuff. And then a pandemic comes, you know? It's so easy to feel like, oh, I'm a teenager, I don't know anything, I'm just a baby, like all of that. But really and truly, you know more than you think you know. I would say that to my old 22-year-old self. You know more than you think you know. Based off of that, start moving ahead and have confidence that you'll be able to make decisions. Even if you feel like you don't know much, you've been able to develop amazing decision-making skills. You've got talents about you, girl, that you've been working on for years now. You have some experience, have some confidence that you'll be able to take the next steps. One thing I regret about my early 20s, reflecting from the point of being 25, is I wasn't confident enough. Loads of people outside of me would be able to say, oh my gosh, Courtney, you're so good at this, and why don't you do XYZ? But in my head, I'm just thinking, because I'm not that great. Like I feel insecure. I don't know if I'm actually good enough. I don't know if I can lead a business well. At that time, I was like full throttle in building CDB London as a company and like doing it and charging ahead with it. And I still felt insecure, even though like I had a shop, I had some contractors, AKA some staff. Like I was managing people, and I was creating systems, and I was making sales, and I was doing all of these things. and yet I still felt like I couldn't do those things well, or I couldn't do those things at all. And so I would say to my 22-year-old self, have more confidence and let that confidence allow you to really drive ahead and go for big goals, and don't like cower away from opportunities, don't cower away from challenges. Girl, you can do this, okay? How was Tanzania? Tanzania was 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10, highly recommend. The girls' trip was mind-blowing. And the reason why I say that is, so if you don't know, I co-founded a digital sisterhood community with my best friend, and our digital sisterhood has been growing rapidly, like absolutely rapidly. Podcast, like we hit 2 million downloads, insane. We've just finished writing our book, as I said before, but our biggest thing is to create a digital sisterhood community online and also build sisterhood offline, to have actual offline impact. And that's really something that we saw manifest when we did the sponsored walk and the Tanzania trip. And the Tanzania trip really did start building up when we did the sponsored walk, even though we had selected the girls way earlier in the year. I think we selected the girls that were coming in like January, February times. And we had been having monthly meetings from that point to kind of get to know each other, meet with each other, talk, do trust building exercises, laugh, gist, all of that. When we did the sponsored walk or the sponsored hike across London, we got to meet girls who were in London, talk with them and do a very challenging exercise with them. Walking 36,000, well, some of the girls had walked like 39,000 steps. Some of them had come from really far to come and join on the walk, but doing all of that is really hard. And so you really bond with the people you're in the trenches with. And that's exactly what happened when we were doing the sponsored walk. But we did that sponsored walk to raise money for a school in Tanzania. And so when we actually got to Tanzania in August with the girls who were coming with us on the trip, it was just amazing, because not only were we able to donate to the school and do some activities with them, we were also able to just bond with each other, and we did amazing things. We went to see amazing things. We experienced like things with local people and Tanzanian people. You guys, the hospitality, the food, the vibes, the music, immaculate, absolutely immaculate. If you are somebody who has Tanzania or Zanzibar specifically on your like hit list for travel, go there ASAP. The hotels we stayed at were amazing. All the details will be shared very, very soon, but the hotels we stayed at were amazing. And what was the most like beautiful thing I think about Tanzania was the fact that, or the Tanzania trip, was the fact that this was 20-something girls who had never met each other before. Obviously, I knew Renee, and my friend Mandy, who you've seen in the vlogs, came as well. Shout out to you, Mandy. And I had also met a couple of the girls from the last To My Sisters, or the very first To My Sisters live show, which happened in 2021. But that was it. The rest of the girls were coming from like the girls from the UK, America. There was a girl from Australia, Belgium, Paris, like different places in the UK. It was just Ghana. It was just so beautiful to see that we had brought girls from all over the world together, all these women with different backgrounds, different work experiences, different passions, different personalities, and yet they all came together not knowing each other and actually bonded in sisterhood. Like the laughs were constant, everyone was supporting each other, we were getting to know each other, we were just having fun. There wasn't any drama. Like it was seamless. It was absolutely amazing. And a big shout out to Sorted Chalet, who are over on Instagram if you want to find them, or you can go to their website. They are based in Ghana, and they are actually founded by one of my good friends, Vedette, who came on the trip with us, and they actually made the trip. They made the whole trip. They were the ones who organized everything that we did, and it was fantastic. We couldn't have done it without them, honestly. Having people on the ground in Tanzania as well who took us around, like shout out to Justa. It was just good. It was just so good, so well organized. The itinerary was really packed. We were exhausted, but you know what? It was worth every single bit of it, and we all still talk till now. So yeah, Tanzania, 12 out of 10. Next girl trip, if you're not there, you're wasting your precious time. Where have you been? I have missed you. Girl, I have missed you too, and life has just been lifing. Like I explained earlier in the video with that little mini life update, so many things were just happening back to back, and work seemed to have been piling up. And then on top of that, I had sustained an injury, so I was trying to rest my body as much as possible, and I was struggling to do everyday things as well. So that really threw me off. But yeah, I'm back. How are you, Courtney? I'm actually really, really good. Like really, really good. I am having a blast. I'm good. Thank you so much for asking as well. Are you planning on getting your master's soon? You and my mother are very inquisitive about this subject. Yes, I do. Now, I mean, relatively soon, I do. I have actually just completed like something to do with my education, which has been really, really fun. Once I find out if I passed, then I'll actually let you know. If I didn't pass, I'll let you know I didn't pass for transparency reasons, but we don't need any more details. I do plan on doing my master's. And the thing that has made me hesitate, because I'm probably going to start my master's in 2024, the thing that has made me, well, by God's grace, the thing that's made me hesitate doing my master's is I didn't know what I wanted to do my master's in. Now, hear me on this. Education is absolutely amazing. I'm passionate about education. A lot of my content was about education, and this platform was here to spread a lot about education, access to education, and what is possible not just in, but also through education. So trust me, I love education. However, master's degrees are expensive. I feel like it's an easier decision to make when you are coming straight out of undergrad and you maybe decide to like extend your study in your undergrad into doing a master's in it. I think that makes sense, especially if you are somebody who may not know what you want to do. However, I left uni knowing what I wanted to do and doing it. After 3 years of doing that, it's kind of like, okay, if I'm gonna go back to school and like pause on the whole making money and working on all of that, I really want it to be because of something I care about and something that will actually really help me in the future. So then this brought me to the question of, well, what do I actually want to do and be in the future? And so what masters would actually equip me for that? So I've been spending this whole year of my gap year actually figuring that out, because I don't want to get a master's for master's sake. I feel like a lot of people, when they find out you're intelligent or you have like a really strong academic background, are like, go for the master's, go for the PhD. And it's like, these things are resources and tools which unlock certain doors, but it also comes at a price. I don't want to do it because I feel like I have to do it and people think I'll be good at it. I actually want it to be worth it in terms of doing it. That's just my perspective on it. And because I haven't worked in like a traditional career trajectory, it hasn't been very clear to me where getting a master's would be valuable for me, apart from being able to say I have a master's degree. Does that make sense? But now I feel like I've actually figured it out. And so if you are someone who's thinking, should I get a master's degree? Shouldn't I? Does it align with your goals, right? And also if you're thinking about what master's degree should I get, I would just say, you know, really map out your goals, create a plan for your professional and academic life, and figure out what masters, and if a master's at all actually fits and aligns with those goals and gets you there faster. Yeah, but yes, I am going to do a master's degree soon. How have you been curating your personal style? I love the way you dress / style. Thank you so much. This question, and along with a few others which I received, actually prompted me to do an Instagram live. I only did it yesterday, and so you could go and watch it over on my Instagram because it's still up, it's pinned to my profile, where I was talking about style evolution and body confidence, especially as a plus size woman. And it was kindly sponsored by Anna Louisa Jewelry, which is actually where these earrings are from. I've been loving their pieces recently, and they sent me a few to add to my collection, and I am so grateful. I gave like 5 tips in that live, so definitely go and watch it. But the biggest thing I would say about how I've been curating my personal style has been actually finding fashion inspiration that look like me. I think it's easy to love how other people dress, but not be able to imagine how that outfit or look would look on you, because they don't share the same body type. Even if they are the same size, they don't share the same body type. And I also think it's important to have representation of your body type and your body size so that you can see that you can actually dress really well and really nicely. Now, how I've actually been finding my personal style has literally just been trial and error, finding inspiration and being like, I like that, I like her style. One of my favorite fashion bloggers is Pockets, is it Pockets and Bows? No, Brittany, her name is Brittany, but I think her channel is Pockets and Bows. Brittany Pockets and Bows TV on YouTube, search her. She is an amazing content creator. And honestly, I look to her like, you are an inspiration, more than just fashion, but like as a person. Sorry, I don't know why the exposure was so high. The sun has decided to come out. But like, she is goals on so many levels, and I really, really like her and admire her. I really love and admire her style. And so when I found her channel about over a year ago, I was like, whatever you buy, I'm going to look for similar items and buy it. That was essentially it. So yeah, I would have, she's actually a few sizes smaller than me, but I would actually recommend for you to find someone who like dresses well, who you can find inspiration from, and then just trial and error different clothes which you may like, and make sure that you are buying accessories as well, which actually help you to style up your outfits, because outfits aren't just about pieces, they are about styling and actually making sure that the whole look in itself is cohesive and nice. Does that make sense? What's the favorite thing you have learned about yourself this year? I think from all the solo traveling that I've been doing and the traveling in general, I have loved the fact that I actually love to explore. I can get so used to my routines or like my environment, and so to be able to step out of my environment and my comfort zone to some degree and be able to explore and love it has been really pleasant for me. I just love how, not me tooting my own horn, I just love how like inquisitive I am and how much I still have to learn and how eager I am to learn it about the world, about myself, about people. I always used to consider myself somebody who struggled to make conversation with people and network, and yet, you know, having traveled or even like opened up my friendship circles and I've been more open to meeting new people, I have realized I actually really like people, and I like making people feel comfortable, appreciated, and like they are of good interest to me. I really like people feeling like no matter who you are, I want to hear about your life. I want to hear about what you do, what your life's journey is, what you think. And having conversations with people has been really nice. So I just love that. I love exploring and finding out new things. Full-time TMS? If not, what are the other hustles? And this actually really pairs well with another question I got asked, which is, where do you work and how do you earn money? I think this is quite a hard one to explain because I don't have like a job title per se. I'm self-employed. I have been for 4 years now, and it has been an interesting journey because the hustles have changed. So I would say for the first 3 years, I was building my e-commerce company and I was doing that full time, getting paid from that full time and actual salary. So I was able to save a lot of my salary. I also received some grants here and there. If you want to hear more about like my financial journey, you should go and watch 2 videos in particular, which is my career journey video. I'll put it in the iCards above, and also my how I changed my life in a year video, which I posted earlier this year. Those will kind of give you insights into like finances. I had a whole bunch saved up before I actually moved out of my mum's house. And that's actually really important for me to caveat. I have a lot of savings to fall back on. So right now I'm literally just YOLOing. Any project or any idea that I get that I want to work on and that brings me passion, I'm gonna work on it, whether it pays me or not. Now, luckily, I guess my official title and like what I do most times full time is content creation. So content creating on YouTube, working with brands on Instagram, and all of that stuff, that pays me. I get paid through like paid sponsorships, YouTube AdSense, affiliate links, things like that. So thank you all so much for supporting my content and supporting my channel. But I also make money through working on like public speaking events or speaking workshops, things like that also pay me. I also, what else do I do? And then there's TMS. So we obviously make money through TMS as well, through very similar ways I make money here on YouTube, as well as we just signed a book deal. So things like that help. Content creation and TMS together, and then a lot of other projects. But the majority of my year this year has been spent traveling, so I haven't like been working. I would say I work on average about 4 days a week. If we were to compile it all together into work hours, it would probably make 4 full days of working. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Not a fly just whacking itself into my window. How did you even get up here? I will say that something that has been really interesting to navigate over the last 1 year is trying to figure out what I do. And I've talked about this so many times on my channel, but as somebody who would be considered like a multi-hyphenate or a polymath in terms of being able to do multiple things and doing different things, like I create content, I present stuff, I host a podcast, I like run different side hustles. I did a a workshop today at my the school that I'm a governor at. Like, all of that stuff is very different, and that's all what I do to make up my full-time job, if that makes sense. But finding a title to put on that can be very hard, and all of that stuff actually really matters to me and takes up a lot of my time as well. So sometimes you explain to people, okay, but what do you do with your time? It's like a lot, but not one specific thing that's a lot. But I hope that probably doesn't actually make sense. But I feel like that's the new era of working we're moving into, especially as like the side hustle industry kind of rises, in terms of most people are making their money from several different places at this point. And that's basically me. How's getting back to regular life, and how has getting back to the gym and all been for you in terms of routine? I actually talk to this girl a lot in my DMs, but it's actually been okay, fairly all right. I would say the biggest thing that has thrown me off has been this back injury. I can't lift super heavy. I can't squat super heavy either, which has kind of thrown me off my normal gym routine. I guess another life update was I was actually able to break through my weight plateau. I'm going to do a whole video on that. The case has been solved. I found the issue and it was interesting. And also like the results of me doing my little reverse mini reverse diet. I want to share that journey with you as well, so watch out for a video on that. But getting back to the gym and routine and stuff has been okay, because I've been having to find different ways to exercise which are a lot more low impact and a lot more considerate of my back and the injury. Luckily I feel so much better now. It's been about 8 weeks since I injured my back, and I still feel a twinge of pain, but I feel recovered enough to be able to return to the gym. So actually this week I returned to the gym and did some like light weight and like accessory exercises, and I was relying a lot more on like machines rather than compound free weight movements. And that's been good, and it's been good for me to at least get myself back in there and ease myself in. And I'm actually very proud of myself for listening to my body and not pushing myself past what I was actually very capable of, because rest and recovery is really important. And I'm 25, I'm getting older. I'm not old, but I'm getting older, and so my body's recovery process is not the same as when I was like 17, when I could, you know, hurt myself and then be back up, you know, adrenaline is pumping and I'm okay, and my body will be like, all right, let's get to it. Now it's kind of like, baby girl, sit down. And so I've kind of had to realign my gym goals a lot, even though this is not a fitness related question specifically, but in terms of making routine and getting back to normal life, I feel like this is my normal life and I like it. I don't particularly like routine, especially like not for the 24 hours of my day to be filled with routine that like happens every day. I like the variety. I am a very like creative mind. I like to jump from thing to thing. And so, yeah, I guess getting back to not chaos, but like disorganization or lack of routine is my routine. That is normal life for me, and I have loved it because I've been working on really fun things. What have you missed most about your home when on vacation? This is really interesting. I haven't been away for long enough to start missing my home. I usually travel for about 5 to 7 days and then I'm back home. Now I do often travel in the sense that like I can be gone for 5, 6, 7 days and then I'll come back for like 5, 6, 7 days and then go away for 5, 6, 7 days. That has happened a few times. However, I don't particularly get homesick easily, so I haven't really missed anything about home. I love home, don't get me wrong, I really love home. Even when I was younger or like a teen, I don't really get homesick. I don't really get attached to places enough to get homesick. How is the book coming along? Well, the book is nearly finished and I feel like I'm always saying that and even I'm getting sick and tired of it. But writing a book is a process. Like it really is a process. The book, we have finished writing it, but then we had to go like back and forth with the editor and kind of sit down, and there's been a few editors, kind of sit down and be like, you know what are we trying to say here? How do we make it clearer? How do we make it a more, you know, concise book? How do we make it as helpful, valuable and good as possible? But the book, even if I do say so myself, is excellent, okay? But yeah, we're currently wrapping up things like the cover design, and then, you know, how the inside would look and stuff like that, which is really fun because it feels like it's becoming more and more real. So I can't wait to actually share that with you and to share it with the world and to share it with the sisters. It has been a long journey because we have been working on this book and like proposing this book for over a year now, and it's been all well worth it. So thank you all for your patience. Thank you. Well, I mean, the publishing date has always been March 2023, but thank you all for being so encouraging whilst on the journey of writing this book. I never thought I would be a writer of like a published book, and yet here we are, published author, soon come. Favorite and least favorite part of your content creation journey, e.g. editing, promoting, ... Editing. It's been the not the bane, let me not even say that, because I recently saw a TikTok. Now the sun doesn't even want to be in the video. I recently saw a TikTok of somebody complaining about how like Instagram or being an influencer is really hard, and then someone was like, how can you complain about influencing being hard? Influencing is not hard. And then the creator basically stitched it and was like, being an influencer is not hard at all. And you know what? I completely agree. Compared to, okay, I wouldn't say it's not hard at all, but I mean in the sense that it's easier than most jobs. Today, in order to complete the workshop that I had done, obviously I'm doing it in a school, and so I had to be up at like 6 in the morning. I had to join the morning commute, and literally as I'm walking with all these people and they're almost borderline running, all I'm thinking is, how do people do this every single day? And like, as a self-employed person or as a content creator who does this full time, I'm definitely blessed to get to do this full time. But one thing I will say that like, I just sit down and I just think, surely I cannot do this forever, is editing, because editing can get so long. And I really love when people are like, the edits of your videos are so good, and it encourages me so much, but I don't want to do it forever. And the reason why I say that is, even though I am good at it, it doesn't come natural to me. It takes hours and hours and hours for me to get exactly what I want. And I am a stickler for getting exactly what I want, especially when it comes to like visuals and like the experience of watching content. And so, yeah, that has been long. And I think it's also paired with like editing my videos and chopping down hours and hours of footage, especially when it comes to vlogs, and making that, you know, a 30-40 minute succinct video, but then also to my sisters and taking the podcast and making it a good conversation and a good flow whilst editing. That takes time. TMS probably takes less editing than my personal content, but editing is, yeah, that's my least favorite part. So if you're an editor and you want to work together, let me know. Please email me. I got so caught up in saying what I least like about content creation that I didn't mention what my favorite part was. And don't get me wrong, I have so much to be grateful for, and the fact that I get to work as a content creator is such a blessing. Like, I wouldn't swap it for anything else right now, honestly. So my favorite thing has to be the fact that I get to create and share stories. Like, I get to create content and share my story, my personal journey of growth, and it allows me to be transparent and be honest, and to also connect with you guys. Like, my journey has not been, it's been beautiful, but it hasn't always been great, if that makes sense. And so to be able to use pain, wisdom, advice, knowledge acquired from past experiences and use that to build community and to connect with people, even if it is online, it means the world to me. Like, it actually fills my heart with so much joy, and for that I can only be grateful, and that makes all the editing worth it. How do you plan financially? So my biggest tips when it comes to planning financially, and if you want more information on this, you should definitely get the Vision 22 toolkit, which is available on the To My Sisters website, where we go way into depth about this. There's videos, there's supporting documents, there's a resource book, there's a workbook. Like, there's so much to help you with this. But in terms of like tips on how I plan financially, I firstly set up goals. I figure out what my expenses are, what my outgoings are, and I just teetotal them down to zero. The reason why I figure out what my goals are is I want to know how much I want to save and what I am saving for. Then I figure out how much I'm actually making and how much I could potentially make. I figure out how much I'm actually making currently, how much I'm spending. If there is like a minus or a deficit when I think about how much I want to save plus how much I'm currently spending, then I need to start thinking about how I can make more money. But get out an Excel spreadsheet and do the calculations, and just be very, very honest with yourself and budget everything to zero. We were talking about this in a recent To My Sisters episode. You need to budget everything down to zero, in the sense that if something is not accounted for, if something has not been allocated for, you don't have the money to do it. If you want the money to do it, find a pot to take it out of that you can make a sacrifice in, or find a way to pay for it. But numbers don't lie, and that's something I keep telling myself as someone who does as someone who did maths at A level, and also who like has run a company before. I just know numbers don't lie. Like, numbers just don't lie. They can tell a story, but they don't lie. What are some TMS future plans you can share with us? Talk show next? You never know. I mean, future plans, live show is happening November 12th. Get your ticket this Friday, or on Saturday if you don't sign up to the mailing list. But sign up to the mailing list so you can get first access. The link will be in my description. Talk show, maybe. I don't know. Can we please have some weekly vlogs? I miss you. I miss you too. And yes. And the last question, what are your plans for 2023? So 2022 was all about travel and figuring things out, figuring out next steps. 2023, take those next steps. Make money, save money. That is literally my grind, and my focus is really gonna be, okay, this year, we figured it out. We got a plot and scheme for Q4. Once we make those plans, 2023 is all about execution, and hustle. And I'm really glad that I've had a year to rest, reflect on myself and my relationship with work enough to be able to approach work completely differently in 2023, and actually do things which are impactful and meaningful to me, as well as actually make some money, probably start a new company or a company, and grind, save, money moves, getting older, 26, let's move. So that's the plans for 2023. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A and this catch up. It's super chill. You know, it was super chill, just a little chat. If there is anything that you want to see from me in particular, especially when it comes to what you see on this YouTube channel, then please leave a comment down below, or you can literally just go down there and say hi, talk to each other, keep it respectful, keep it cute and helpful. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you do subscribe to my channel and you turn on your notifications. I can't wait to talk to you. And as always, stay beautiful and stay blessed. Mwah.